most people, 99% of people who say they're into AI, like 85 to 90% of companies say they're into AI, will do what I call level one. Level one
Uh-huh.
is just talking to it like a chatbot.
I keep on asking myself as I'm building something, when do I need to find an engineer to help me out? And every time I'm thinking, well, the stage I'm at right now feels like I'm bumping up against something. I'll get an engineer when I finish this part of the build. And then I get to the end of the build and I go, I'll just keep building. And I keep on thinking I'm going to find an engineer and maybe I will at some point. But yeah, are you finding that people are using AI that have no computer science background? They come in, they start building, and then they do need to find an engineer at some point, or they do require a team of people to help support the technology for
Yeah,
delivery?
Mike, I think that it's a really amazing point. I think that you are a great entrepreneur and leader, and you also have a curiosity, and all you have to do is have that ambitious and entrepreneurial spirit and desire to use AI, and you could really build almost anything. I have evidence from our chief technology officer, who's a guy named Chad Nicely. And this guy launches new SaaS products, complete SaaS products. Chad recreated in a day Zoom. Now he has a 24-person development team, but he built that all himself without a single one of his development team members. They will work on other things. And the point of when he gets other people involved is when he delegates.
Uh huh.
So it's not an issue of a lack of technical skills. It's
Uh
just
huh.
that he only has so much time in the day. Now, just like how a tailor has a passion for a bespoke suit. I have Tom Ford suits. They're beautiful suits. But, if you don't want necessarily a custom by the thread bespoke suit, you could get suits that are like 80% of the way there, ready to
Yeah.
go. That's when delegation comes in place. That's how I look at it. Now, we've had situations where we've been able to rebuild things like Pipedrive to manage your incoming flows of leads, or
Yeah.
CRM, recreating things like Salesforce. But that takes like a couple of weeks. But that's crazy because that took them a couple of decades. It took Zoom who knows how long. And the fact that there's so much stuff that's open source that you can play with, like adding Google Maps or adding the free open source infrastructure of Uber into your already existing platforms, and just telling AI models to do the integrations to your front end and back end systems, which is amazing. Now, some people, I don't know if I'm going too technical on people here, but if you're building your front end, that's the most common way of doing things. Now, most people, 99% of people who say they're into AI, like 85 to 90% of companies say they're into AI, will do what I call level one. Level
Uh
one
huh.
is just talking to it like a chatbot.
Yeah.
Level two is doing some coding and development. Maybe they're using it to build a front end and back end of their website. Level three is what we're talking about, the things we talked about earlier, like Jarvis. You're doing some integration, just building agents to systematically and autonomously continue to run and do monitoring of your products and reports.
Yeah.
Now, when you want to have what I would say like a fully AI native business, it's when you have all these agents doing the work for you. They're not thinking about what's possible. They're thinking about what they hear about in the media. It's completely
Mm-hmm.
different.